Potato! Welcome, boys and girls, and all the new people to the Potato Army, to a brand new horror movie review. And today we are reviewing the second movie of the Hatchet trilogy, which is obviously Hatchet 2. All I've got to say about this movie is, once again, Adam Green has absolutely smashed it with this movie. If you haven't seen my review for the first movie, definitely go and check that one out to see my thoughts on the start of the trilogy. And this one, to me, after watching all three of them, the second one is by far my favourite. This one has so many Easter eggs and sort of like, it's a proper film for the horror fans out there, because you have so many classic icons coming together in one film. I mean, with the first one you had Freddy Krueger. Yes, he only lasted like 2 minutes into the film, but in this one we got Danielle Harris, who comes in to replace the original actress playing Mary Beth. You got Tony Todd coming in this one with a whole lot more screen time, and you can never go wrong with Tony Todd, because in this he's an absolute badass. You've also got Kane Hodder coming back as Victor Crowley, but in the past he has played Jason Voorhees, and I think he's the actor with the most Jason Voorhees movies under his belt. Then you've also got Parry Shen coming into it, who played, I think it was Sean, the Asian guy in the first movie, who was really funny, and he's also playing his twin brother in this one, which I find absolutely hilarious. Well, what's the point of bringing in someone who looks like him when you bring in the same actor? Yeah, it's his twin brother, fuck it, chuck him in there. Then you've also got Tom Holland, not the person from Spider-Man or Avengers, like a lot of people getting mixed up with, but Tom Holland, who created the Child's Play, the first Child's Play movie. And you've also got R.A. Millerhoff, I think I've said his name right. He played Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And then you've also got a whole lot more actors in this film, especially I'm not too sure what his name was. I think it's David Foy. Yeah, David Foy, who plays Chad, who is a massive comedic role in this movie. And like I said, it's just a huge fan pleasing film. Like, you get everything with this. You get the badassery from all the characters, which I like about this movie, because you get a lot more time with the characters, because you ain't got to learn the backstory of Victor Crowley, because obviously they've already told you all of that in Hatchet 1. And this one, you're literally just getting the brand new characters, which you get to know a lot more of, and it makes it better through the film with that character development, especially with Mary Beth, with Danielle Harris coming in. I'm not too sure why she replaced the original actress, but I prefer her in this role and the role in the third one, because she's one of my favourite actresses in horror, obviously playing Jamie from the original Halloween movies, which I absolutely loved, and also playing in Halloween movies with Rob Zombie. But she plays Mary Beth to an absolute T. She also brings that badass feel to her. Also, like I said, with Tony Todd being an absolute badass in this. I mean, how much fan pleasing can you get when you get Victor Crowley, someone played by Jason, and Candyman walking head to head, about to clash, and it's just like a whole... It's one of those moments for a horror person who's sitting there going, that is just so pleasing to watch, just a standoff, and then he's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And then they just go, wham. And then obviously, you guys probably know how it turns out. Victor Crowley gets the win, which I'm sad to see, because Candyman's one of my favourite characters, so it was kind of annoying to see Weather and Zombie go. But like I said, with the character development in this, I absolutely loved it. And also with the comedic points coming from Chad, who, I'll tell you now, he may be one of my favourite comedic people from a horror movie, because he just knew when to say stuff and how to land it, and it just hit perfectly every time. But I'm going to start like setting up a few different things. Like what was my favourite kills or the most enjoyable moment in the film. So my favourite kills from this movie are the two that come to mind is the first one where he gets a huge chainsaw and he literally saws two guys in half. Now, when I saw the size of the chainsaw come out of the forest, I was just like, no fucking way, is that a real thing? And he just sticks it in between them, and you guys can just imagine what happens. If you want to see that, just definitely check out this movie. Then obviously my favourite killing scene from this movie is who are the actresses who play? I can't, my eyes aren't working today. You got a scene with Alex Kendra and I'm not too sure. I can't remember who the other guy was, but there's a scene where literally two people are having sex in the woods, and we all know what happens with a horror movie, but they're just literally going at it, having sex, and then Victor Crowley comes up behind the bloke, chops his head off, and then he literally goes power thrusting with no head, and she obviously enjoying it, she's loving those few seconds of power thrusting, and then he obviously stops because he's dead, and then she's like, the fuck's going on? Turns around, sees a headless corpse, and then obviously she tries to scurry away because she's got her trousers down, and then he takes his hatchet and literally whacks it into her axe wound. Literally, he gave her an axe wound. He literally whacked that hatchet into her vag, and then he ends up whacking the hatchet straight in between her tits, and then you just get a massive blood money shot up the tree. But I love that killing scene because it was just absolutely hilarious. I mean, you get in a sex scene, you're like, oh, okay, and then all of a sudden, whack, boom, whack, and you're just sitting there like, what the fuck did I just see? He's just hit her in her axe wound. Yeah. And my favourite scene from this movie, maybe, I'll say my favourite scenes are whenever Chad was on screen, because he made me laugh through the film, but whenever Tony Todd was on screen, he's always had his presence there. You're always drawn to him with his voice, his prowess, it's just Candyman, just Tony Todd. I mean, and I think Adam Green pops up in this as well at some point. I think it's at the start, where he's ended up throwing up because he was with the group in the first movie. I can't remember if he turns up in the third one, but he likes to chuck himself in there. Bit like, I think it was all before Avengers was doing it, when Kevin Feige would put himself into the movie. But he puts himself into the movie somehow out. He always finds a way. But obviously the only thing I'm going to say I'm most disappointed about is if you've got seen Hatchet 1, you saw how abruptly that ended, and Hatchet 2 literally starts where the first one left off. And obviously it's because it's a trilogy, this one ends abruptly, and then you need to go and watch the third one, and you're just like, mate, I've just watched 1 and 2, I cannot sit through 3 in one sitting. But you do, because you love the film after watching it. But that's literally the only disappointing thing I can say about the movie, is just how abruptly it ends, because you need to go out and buy the third one to understand what's going on. But if you literally watch Hatchet 2 without watching Hatchet 1, and you see the way it ends, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Why did it end like that? But if you see Hatchet 1, then Hatchet 2, you'll understand why. Because I think they're over the course of 2 or 3 nights each film, which are absolutely mental. But yeah, I've talked about my favourite kill, my favourite scene, what I've been disappointed about. But yeah, I think, once again, this is my favourite in the series. Adam Green absolutely smashed it. He loves his long shots as well. I think there was like a scene in the woods where it was like a 4-minute shot, and each character is having a speaking segment, just chatting shit in the woods, and it's just, the take isn't stopping, it's just carrying on. And I love them sort of shots. I've always liked my James Wan sort of style, one long takes. I loved the film 1917 because it looked like it was in one whole take. But yeah, this film absolutely smashed it. Definitely the best of the trilogy. Obviously you got Victor Crowley, but the main trilogy is 1, 2 and 3. This one is definitely the best of the bunch. Massive fan favourite. Massive fan pleasing with all these horror icons coming in. With obviously the person who played Leatherface. You got Tom Holland who created Child's Play. Perry Shen coming back for the Asian person role as his twin brother, Kane Hodder, Tony Todd, Danielle Harris, and many people who you can never go wrong with this movie. So if you guys want to see this movie, I'd definitely recommend checking it out. I'm going to give this film 5 out of 5. I'm going to stop rating it from through 10 because 5 seems like a right number, but I'm going to give this movie a 5 out of 5 because it absolutely hits everything. It pleases you on every spot that you can think of. It's got the gore, it's got the comedy, it's got a good plot line. There's no messing about with no backstory because the first one gave it ya. So you're going into this one with brand new characters and letting Vince Crowley do what he does best, and that's literally rip the shit out of people, figuratively and properly. Literally ripping the shit out of people and strangling you with your own intestines. So yeah, definitely recommend going to watch it. 5 out of 5. Definitely top on one of my list for one of my favourite movies of all time. I think it's in like my top 10 with Hatchet 2. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have seen the movie, drop it in the comments down below what you thought of it, and also what you thought of the rest of the Hatchet series. But once again, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button and join the Potato Army. Make sure you follow all my social media because we have a future hoodie drop coming. If you guys have followed my Twitter, you've seen a bit of a preview, but we're going to give it a little tweak, so we might have a hoodie drop coming very soon. But once again, you can find all my social media links down below in the description. You can find also a link to PayPal if you want to kindly donate to the channel. All donations to the channel will be going towards future exploring projects when we can finally get out and go and explore different sort of places. So every single donation will go towards that. And make sure you also follow my Twitch for my weekend streams. But I hope you guys have enjoyed. I've been dominating SPUD. I love you, Potato Man Army. Stay home, stay safe, and like always, don't forget to stay starchy. I'm coming for the throne.